What's going on, guys? It's been a little while. What I've said in my last video is we have a good amount of work to do before we do the Christmas tree race, and I wasn't lying. So this engine's been in my car now running since April of 2020, so about a year and a half. Now, first part of the year in 2020, car was slow for whatever reason, couldn't figure it out. We started digging. We changed turbos. We went to a larger turbo because we thought it was just too much back pressure. I've changed the converter. We had verified everything. We pulled the engine apart, verified to make sure the cam was right, that the timing was right. The car just had a loss of power. Last year, about I want to say August, Eddie came over. We re-verified my TDC on the engine comparative to what the computer thinks. Well, it turned out I was 17 degrees retarded in timing the entire time the car was running in 2020. We fixed the timing. Well, not by fix, but I started adding timing to the map, and immediately it picked up 6/10 in the quarter. First pass out, it went 9.0, went 9.0. If you guys remember last year, I actually had an accident with the wall. Parachute didn't deploy. I spun around, hit the wall at the track. I was very eager to get my first 8-second pass last year. So with my spare bumper, with some used fenders, we slapped the car together in a week real quick to go back out to the track. And that's when I ran my first 8-second pass. I went 887, I think 152, something like that. Over the winter, we changed intake manifolds. I changed to a bullseye turbo, put the radiator back in the front. We raced Texas 2K, we did well. We've been racing all year and we've gone really fast. As of now, my PB is 822 at 168 mile an hour. This entire time the car has been running has been on a stock bottom end engine, which means it is a stock block, stock crank, stock rods, stock pistons. According to the numbers in the computer, according to calculations of speed and mile per hour and the weight of the car, we've equivalated the car to be making almost 1,100 horsepower. Now, it's crazy because, like I said, this is a stock rod and piston engine. So we went down for Dreamfest. I didn't make a video on it because I just figured it'd be a nice chill night, honestly. We went down, support my homies over at VMS Racing, hung out. We hung out in the car show. We came first place Mazda, which was awesome. And I made a couple passes at the track. So my idea was that was supposed to be a shakedown for the Christmas tree race. So if I blew a head gasket, that's fine. We'll change a head gasket and we'll be ready for the Christmas tree race. So I made one pass. That's when it actually ran the 822 168. So I'm going to include that right now. Now, as I just said, that was my personal best on the car ever. And if you notice, the car's got underlights on it now. So I ran the car with the pink underlights. I thought it'd be hilarious. So now I'm all hyped up because, like I said, that's my PB. I drove it back to the trailer, reviewed the data. All the data is beautiful. No problems anywhere. Air fuel's good, oil pressure's good, fueling's good, everything's great. So I'm like, all right, let's spice it up a little bit. So I made pretty large changes, and my goal was to try to go faster than the white Miata in Arizona. It's an NB big tire car. It actually still has a Miata engine, but so my pass, it was an 822, I believe, with a 6, and his fastest pass is an 821, and I believe with a 7 or an 8 or something like that. I'll put it on the screen right now. But I'm so close at, passing him. And as a street car beating or, going quicker than an all-out race car, I think that's pretty cool. So I spiced it up. My goal was to try to take it into the 8-1 range, 18, a 17 and 18, somewhere around there. That was my goal. So I go up. We waited to be the first out on the prep. I go to do the burnout, and the engine lets go in the burnout. So there's many things that boggle through my head. Unfortunately, we'll never know exact causes of things. The event did a lot of roll racing, so the entire surface of the track was prepped. So the burnout box was actually fully prepped when I tried doing my burnout. All they did was spray a little bit of water down. So I know you can hear in the video, the engine sounds pretty pissed off because it's never been that loaded down on a burnout before, because when we do burnouts, you know, it's in a slick water box, there's no problem. So I think that kind of has something to do with it. But I mean, at the end of the day, we've probably made over 40 passes, well over 1,000 horsepower. And at the end of the day, like I said, this is stock rods and pistons. So I'll show you where the car's at. Now, it's been a few weeks now. You can see I got the turbo pulled apart. I have a spare head pulled apart, and we have the engine kind of just chilling as is. So ultimately, let's go ahead and look on the driver's side bank. You can see I got 4 pistons, and we can see in the lifter tray, we got a bunch of debris. You know, you can see parts of piston. You can actually see part of a piston ring. And let's go to the passenger side. We have a piston, we have a piston, we have nothing, absolutely nothing. So I was very curious when we were driving home from the track, because we did stay in West Palm overnight. So when the engine let go, you know, we just kind of put the car back in the trailer, went to sleep, and it was killing me. So on the drive home, we actually stopped at a gas station so I could pull the spark plugs out. So when I pulled the plugs out, everything looked great. But obviously that guy right there, he ain't doing too hot. So it was 1 cylinder. However, being the fact that the piston is completely gone, you have the wrist pin with the rod hammering on the bore. So unfortunately, the block was trashed. Not really trashed. It could be probably bored over. Not my intention right now. And then also with everything hitting the counterweight of the crank, I pretty much rode off the crank. So if you guys remember a few months back, I believe in June, I actually took the Miata pulling a trailer, and we went and picked up another 5.3 engine. And that was supposed to be the build for next year. All of that got escalated, and that's what's happening now. So the big overall plan is I'm doing a rod and piston with stock crank, aluminum 5.3 engine, and that'll be the engine going in. The head was able to be repaired, so I actually have the heads already refreshed. They're ready to rock and roll. I've been spending a lot of time up at CW Pence, and massive shout out to those guys. Good close relationship with the Turtle team and I, and we're knocking out the new engine. We're gonna run very close to the deadline I need for this Christmas tree race, but at the end of the day, that's how it goes. I mean, we got to make what we have to do happen, and yeah. So I mean, anyway. So the plan, like I said, is rod and piston 5.3. I have a set of BTR boost pistons, which are forged Wiseco pistons, and then I also have a set of Wiseco boost line rods, which are gangster I-beams. So rod and pistons are good for about 1,800 horsepower. Obviously the crank will be the limitation of the block assembly itself, but I believe I'll be able to make up to 1,300 on a stock crank. And like I said, the heads are the same, the intake and everything like that's the same. And then you'll see I got the turbo pulled apart. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to tell on camera, but obviously it sent a lot of slag through, so I did clean up the fins a bunch. But there is a few wheels that are dented. And since I already ran this turbo, when I ran my 822 pass, I was at 27 pounds of boost. Now, obviously, if I want to go any quicker, you're gonna start turning the boost up more. So I decided to, instead of rebuilding that one, we're gonna upsize the turbo. It'll be the same exhaust side, bigger cold side. We're going up from an 85 to a 92. So hopefully that'll give me the power I need to go 7s. And with the block assembly, it'll be reliable going 7s. So that's the big update, big mystery. I mean, I haven't really posted anything about the car. I mean, I posted on Instagram, just nothing on YouTube. I made my announcement saying I'm going to race the Christmas tree race, but like I said, we got a good amount of work ahead of us. So I've been busting ass behind the scenes, getting parts, trying to get the stuff together, order up the new turbo and everything. So basically, I just need to get this engine out, get everything prepped so I can throw the new engine in when it's ready, which should be about not next weekend, but the following week. And yeah, so I'm actually heading up to the PRI trade show next weekend. Gonna see about talking to some future sponsors with the car, you know, networking, and all the people that have talked to over the years with parts. It's a good place to meet and, you know, talk about stuff. So I'll be doing that next weekend. Next weekend, Miggy will be assembling the short block for me. When I get back, I'll basically be setting it up for the car with the covers, the oil pump, all that stuff, and then getting ready to put the engine in the car. Hopefully it'll be together the following Thursday, and then that'll give me 5 days to test until the Christmas tree race. So it'll be cutting it close, but I mean, it's something that I really want to do, and I think it's going to be really badass to be a part of. So that's it's my big striving goal right now. So a lot of changes. It's one of those things. I'm not upset that the engine let go finally. The part that's upsetting is, you know, when you have an established best friend for so long, like that engine did me really well. That engine, I have 0 complaints. But at the end of the day, it sucks to see my best friend go, you know. It's well over its power limits. It owed me nothing. But of course, these things never happen at a good time. So we're gonna keep cracking lacking at this. Basically, my goal is to try to get the engine out today. And like I said, start prepping it up for the new engine. And then once I get the new engine completed, get it in the car and driving as quickly as possible and going from there. And hopefully this car will go 7s with a Christmas tree on the roof in a few weeks. So, talking video, but it's an update. Just want to share with you guys what happened, explain what happened with the car. And yeah, I mean, nothing but things going up from here. We're gonna go faster, we're gonna go faster, we're gonna go faster. So, time to get this engine out. Anyway, I'm gonna get to work. Appreciate you guys watching this update. I'll catch you guys in the next one.